to my channel. Today I will be kitting up my next diamond painting for November, which will be my last fall cozy diamond painting before I move into Christmas. So today we are kitting up Happy Place by Erica the Goober. This one is a 55.6 by 70.7 centimeter round drill canvas. We have 61 colors. Now I could see this being either like an early spring or a late autumn type diamond painting. I'm choosing autumn because the colors just seem very autumnal to me. I was able to catch this one on a restock after it had been sold out for a bit, and I just knew I didn't want to wait until next year to work on it. So this is what we're kitting up. I think this is like my 4th Erica the Goober this year, which is kind of crazy. But I have just absolutely fallen in love with her artwork this year. So this one has 61 colors, I think I just said, and 3 of those are fairy dust drills. Now, we will be using my new storage system, which I shared in a recent Amazon haul. However, so many of you are interested in this storage that it has since sold out. So it has restocked once, and I did let you guys know in a community post, and then it sold out again. So I am continuing to monitor. It looks like one of the stickers came off on the side. I am continuing to monitor the listing. I looked at it yesterday, which for me was Saturday. I will let you guys know in a community post when it restocks, hopefully soon. I am happy that it has restocked once, so they see the interest, so hopefully it will restock soon. Now, when I shared this on my channel, I took it out of the foam and I kind of laid it, I kind of stacked them across, and I thought that you would be able to fit 60 containers in here. Now you can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can fit 10 across, but the container kind of like comes in a little bit on the side. So you can actually only fit 10 across on the top and the bottom row. So unfortunately, I was not able to make this into a set of 60. Which is a bit of a bummer. Maybe with some finagling, I could have made it happen, but I didn't want to push it too much. So I'm gonna leave them in the 2 cases for now. Maybe I will attempt that again in the future. But for now, I am just gonna leave them in the little foam inserts that they came in. So that's what we're doing. For the washi tape on my containers, I'm going to use this like just neutrally tan brown color. I do have my stickers here. I also have my drills. I also have the funnel that came with the storage set. I'm really excited that it came with a metal funnel. I find that I don't generally use funnels, especially when they're plastic, because it just creates more static. So we are going to try this out. I'm excited to give that a go. I'm also excited to see how much these containers actually hold. I did do a test when I unboxed them, but it was from a kit that had already been used and kitted up. So we're going to find one of our big bags. I'm assuming there's probably going to be, actually there's no 310 in this diamond painting. So maybe there'll be a big bag of 3371, that we can test out how much the containers actually hold. So let me get into the bag. Put that off to the side. I do have my little garbage can off to my right so that I can throw our bags out as we cut them. I am also just going to quickly trim down my labels. I do not like to use, or I don't like to keep the numbers 1 through 61 in this case on my stickers. I like to just have the symbol and the DMC. So I'm just going to trim these down. And I think they'll fit on the containers a little bit better, which actually, it looks like the full sticker, even with the number, would fit on these bottles. Because I know some people do like to keep the 1 through 60 1 or whatever number of drills you might have. I know some people do like to keep that on their stickers, so it looks like that would definitely fit on the lid of these containers. I am struggling today. It has been, oh my gosh, you guys, it has been such a strange week, which I will fill you guys in on as we get more into the wipnchat. Let me just get these in order so I don't mix anything up. This can go over here. I am going to keep this sticker I like to put in the front of the containers. Okay, so what we're going to do now is sort all of our drills out. I like to sort my drills by hundreds before I actually kit up. So I'm gonna just make some piles of drills here. And we will just start chit-chatting. So this week has been crazy. I guess I should say last week it was crazy. It was such a weird week. I don't know. It just seemed like weird things were happening all week long. And do you know when it feels like there's something always happening to you? Now, I pride myself on being a very boring person. Like, I like that I don't have drama in my life. I like that I don't have, you know, a lot of stuff going on. I'm very much an introvert, homebody, all that, all of the above. So if I end my week and I'm like, oh, I don't really have anything to tell you guys, I'm thrilled. Like, I can't stand when there's stuff going on. But for some reason, last week, it just felt like there was something every day. Now, I do weekly vlog. I do that for my members. This is not a plug for the members. Like, join if you want to join. Don't join if you don't. I totally understand. But I do vlog every day. And there were numerous times in last week's vlog where I was like, what is happening? Like, why is it something every freaking day? So I don't even know where to start. Okay, the glare over here is absolutely crazy. I'm filming a little bit later in the day than I was anticipating, so the lighting is not fabulous. I do apologize for that. So work was fine. Actually, was it? No, it wasn't. That was a lie. So last Saturday was daylight savings, or Sunday, I should say. Last Sunday was daylight savings. And I just feel like, honestly, for the first time in my life, I feel like I cannot recover from daylight savings. And there's been a lot of instances this week where I have said to Steven, which if you're new here, Steven is my boyfriend. We've been together for 8.5 years at this point. I feel like the universe is telling me, like, lady, you're turning 25, like, you're getting old. 25, oh my god, I wish. 35. Daylight savings, I cannot recover from it. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, we went to bed at 9 o'clock, like 9 o'clock on the dot. We were going to sleep. Not even just like getting in bed to scroll or read or something like that. We were literally going to bed. It was so strange. And then we had power outages in our area. I think it was that night. And the power just kept going off and on and off and on and off and on. And our neighbor has a generator that like automatically turns on. So the power would go off, the generator would kick on, the power would come back, the power would go off, the generator would kick. It was so annoying. and we have smart lights in our rooms, like in our bedroom and the spare bedroom and all that stuff. And every time the power goes out and comes back on, they automatically turn on. So every time the power was going out, as soon as it came back on, it was just like this bright ass light. So I finally got up and I turned it off. I was like, I cannot, I cannot do this. And this was all at like I think it started at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I finally was like, well, I'm just not going back to bed, I guess, because I wake up for work at 5. So what's the point? It was crazy. So then I was miserable the entire day. And then on Tuesday, we had career day at one of the middle schools in my school district, which if you're new here, I know I say this a lot, but I do have some new subscribers, so apologies to those of you that have been here for a while. I work in IT for a local school district, and I was asked to go to one of the middle schools for career day so that I could help all of the presenters get connected to the smart sharp boards and all that fun stuff. So I did it last year, so I was like, yeah, no problem. Should be easy. Y'all, I was so miserable. It was so... So I was asked to be there at 11:30. So the morning of, this was Tuesday because it was election day. The morning of, my boss messaged me and was like, hey, he calls me LK because my first name is Laura, my last name starts with a K. So he messaged me and he's like, oh, LK, are you all set for the middle school, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I'm good to go. I just wanted to double check on the time because the principal emailed and said 11:30, but is that the time that the presenters start? Is that what time they get there? Like, what should I do? So my boss was like, how about 11 just to play it safe? And I was like, fair, sounds good. So in the meantime, I'm trying to get my work done. And I am somebody who, if I know I have something going on, I have a really hard time focusing on other stuff. So all morning I was like, okay, I need to be ready to leave at 10:45, 10:50, so I can get there for 11, so I can do this, so I can do that. So I don't want to say I was avoiding my work because I was definitely still getting stuff done, but my brain was definitely preoccupied with the idea of having to go to one of the middle schools. So it gets to be, 10:35, and I'm like, all right, let me go to use the restroom, let me pack up my bag, let me make sure I have everything I need, and I will head out. So I do that. I go to the middle school, and I know that we were told to be there at 11:30. So there's this like, I don't know how to describe it. There's this like art display, but you can go into it and it's like open. You know when you go to like a concession stand at a football game or something like that, or a little league game, it's kind of like that. Like you can go into it and there's like desktops so that you can put your laptop and you can kind of work there. So whenever I cover state testing in the spring, that's always where I set up shop because it's like a central location. People can see me, people know I'm there, that type of thing. So I'm like, I'm here early. I know I'm early. I know the teacher's in class. So let me just set up here. And if the principal comes looking for me, he'll see me as soon as he walks out of the office. So I'm sitting there. I'm trying to do some of my work, some of the tickets that are coming in. I'm trying to stay on top of whatever I can. And then at like 11:20, I packed up my stuff and I walked down to the classroom of the teacher who was in charge of career day. I just wanted her to know that I was there. Like I said, I did it last year, so I kind of knew what I was expecting, but I just wanted her to know that I was in the building. So I poked my head in and she's like, oh, hi, I'll be right out. And I was like, okay, cool. So I go and I stand by the cafeteria, which is in the 8th grade hallway, so she can see that I'm still there. And she comes out and she starts talking to me about getting guests on our district Wi-Fi. Now, while I had been still in the office after I had talked to my boss, he had forwarded me an email communication that he had with this person, which was her asking the same question. And he gave her an answer of, you know, how guests got onto the Wi-Fi. So she says to me, what's the best way to go about it? And I say, oh, I saw, you know, that you had a communication with my boss. And he told you the best way to use the guest Wi-Fi, and, you know, that's how we do it. And she was basically like, now I'm not doing verbatim, I'm not doing word for word. It's been a few days now. I don't remember exactly what was said, so I don't want it to, like, you know, I don't want to mess it up. But somewhere along the lines of like, oh yeah, but, you know, I was just wondering if you had a different way. And in my head, I'm like, lady, first of all, you spoke to the director of IT. Like, even if I had another way, I'm not going to undermine my boss and tell you something different. Like, he's the boss. So I just reiterated to her the same thing that he said. And she was like, oh, I just didn't know if there was another way. And that's when I was like, I mean, you spoke to the director of IT. You know, like, he is the end all be all of procedure and with technology things. And she was like, okay, no problem. And I was like, okay, cool. So she was like, you know, I really wish this had been communicated to us, something along those lines, ahead of time. And I said to her, we didn't even know this was happening. Like, we weren't even looped in to this being a thing. And she was like, oh, I thought the principal secured you ahead of time. And I said, well, we found out about it last week, like the end of last week. Had we known, we probably could have streamlined it a little bit, but we didn't know. Like, we didn't know. So I think she was, like, I wasn't rude about it, but I think she was a little bit taken aback because I'm really not somebody who speaks out or, like, speaks out of turn at work. In my personal life, if I need to say something, I'll say something, but at work, I'm very much like a rule follower. I don't like to stir the pot. I don't like to get in trouble. I don't like to get other people in trouble. So I think she was a little bit, like, taken aback that I actually said, like, we didn't even know this was happening. So I just reiterated to her exactly what my boss said. Like, clerical staff makes a guest account, guest Wi-Fi account. We use their email address. And she's like, well, why couldn't this have been done ahead of time? And I was like, it could have by your clerical staff. So I'm like, let me reach out to my boss. Let me just double check with him, make sure him and I are on the same page, and I will let you know. And she goes, well, this really needs to be done because they come in at 12:30. Okay, 12:30, everybody, 12:30. What time was I told to be there? 11:30. And what time did I actually get there? 11. So I look at her, I'm like, oh, 12:30? And she's like, yeah, that's what time the presenters come. And I was like, oh, I was told it was 11:30. And she's like, no, 12:30. So instantly I'm already like, what the heck? Like, come on. So I follow her up to the main office and I talk to the clerical staff and I'm like, hey, you know, this blah, 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 whatever. And of course the secretary, who was very nice, she was like, yeah, I do this all the time. And I'm like, I know you do it all the time. I know. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I heard something fall and I wanted to make sure that Steven was okay. So where was I? we were talking to the secretary, blah, blah, blah. And the teacher was like, well, I know that 12:30 is a very popular time to go to lunch. What do we do if she can't finish? And I'm like, lady, mind you, this is set in my head, but I'm like, this is a building issue, not a me issue. So the secretary is like, well, if you have the email addresses, I can do it ahead of time. And I wanted to be like, see, like all you had to do was give her the email addresses yesterday and she would have had it done. And this wouldn't even be a problem. So the secretary was able to get it done in time. She was great. I said to her, I'm like, hey, if you get into a pinch, let me know and I will, I will help. She was able to do it without any issues. As I expected, she'd be able to, and all was well. So by that time, I was like, now what the heck do I do? It was probably like 11:45 by the time we had figured all of that out. So I'm like, what the heck do I do until 12:30? So I messaged my boss and I was like, hey, as expected, the school did not prepare, blah, blah, blah. And I said, by the way, presentations don't actually start until 1 and the presenters get here at 12:30. And he's like, what the heck? So had I known that that presenters didn't get there until 12:30, I could have taken a lunch and then gotten to the middle school for noon. And I wouldn't have been as miserable as I get as we continue on with this story. So my job within our IT department is I oversee both middle schools' Chromebooks. So every student who has a Chromebook all goes through me. Now, we have a very large district. I think the last time I checked last week because I was telling a story about work, I think maybe in last week's Whip and Chat, and I couldn't remember what our enrollment was. We are, dang, I can't remember. We have a lot of students. We are a city school district. There's a lot of kids. Oh, I forgot to use the funnel, but now you know that the bag pours just fine straight into the container. So our middle schools are 5 through 8, grades 5 through 8. We have 2 of them, and every single Chromebook in the district, in the middle schools, goes through me. So you can imagine that that's a lot of Chromebooks. Now, it's in the thousands, okay? Each grade level is hundreds of students, if that gives you some idea of how big our district is. So I'm standing at the middle school. I have my laptop open. I'm trying to stay on top of things as best I can, but there are tickets that are coming in that I have to be at my desk with all the Chromebooks to do. It's just not feasible to do them remotely. I have to be with everything on my desk. So that's fine. It just means that I'm not going to be able to do them until I get back to my desk. So basically, as bad as it sounds, like I did the best I could while I was standing in the building, but a lot of my work went undone for the period of time that I was at the middle school, which I don't like. I'm very, is it type A? I think it's type A is the word. Like, I'm very on top of things. I like things to be done a certain way. I'm very organized. I'm very, like, high-strung at work. And not being at my desk, not being able to do the things I need to do can be very frustrating. However, I do know that part of my job and part of my responsibilities is to go out into the field when I'm asked to do so. So I didn't feel bad that I wasn't doing the other things because I was where I was asked to be by my boss. So it's not like I was wound up about feeling guilty or anything, because I wasn't. I was doing my job. But the fact that they asked for tech support an hour before they actually needed it. That was frustrating because I thought, hey, I'm going to get over there for 11. I'm going to get everything set up and I'll be back to my office by 12:30. Well, instead, I didn't get back to the office until 2 and I leave for the day at 2:30. So 12:30 rolled around. That's when the presenters were supposed to be getting there. And some of them got there on time. Many of them did not. So I was going room to room all through the 8th grade hallway, just checking with people, making sure that they were hooked up, making sure they had internet access, all that fun stuff. Most of them were fine. I did have a few issues. There was somebody from like New York State who, I don't know if she just needed to feel important or something, but she was like, this is a very important laptop. I don't know. She just, I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. You know, I get it. You're important with the state. Okay, cool. So I had to go back to the main office. I had to get her a sub laptop. I had to get her logged in, and it was crazy. Definitely needed to be 2 people. So last year it was 2 of us, and then this year it just didn't work out that way, and it definitely needs to be 2 people, especially when the presenters aren't coming on time. Like, then I'm rushing around trying to get them ready when they're the ones that weren't prepared, which is just frustrating in any job, honestly. And then there's been some new staff at the middle school, and I had a couple of issues with a couple of people, and I was talking to my boss about it, and he was like, what? He was not happy. Just people being like really condescending. Like, there was this one teacher who I couldn't get these 2 people connected to one of the sharp boards. They had an older computer. The connection worked with my laptop. It worked with the sub laptop. So I was trying to get them switched over to a sub laptop. And this young teacher comes in and like tries to turn my laptop towards her. And she's like, what do I need to do to help or something? And I was like, excuse me? And one of the teachers who I know, so I used to work in this building as a TA, and then I moved on to IT. So whenever that building needs support, it always ends up being me, because I know most of the people, I know the building very well, I know the principal, like all that fun stuff. So one of the teachers that I've known for a very long time was standing next to me, and this young teacher walks up and, you know, says something, I don't want to say snotty, because I don't know if she meant to be that way. I think maybe she was actually trying to be helpful. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But the way she said it, I was like, excuse me? And I looked at her and I go, yeah, I work for the district's IT department. I'm good. Like, what the hell? Who do you think you are? It was awful. So I finally got everybody connected, and I messaged my boss and I was like, hey, everybody's connected. Do you need me to stay for the duration, or can I go back to the office? And he was trying to be like helpful, and I think he was trying to be helpful because he's like, oh, it's up to you, LK. Is it really worth going back to the office? You leave in like a half hour. And I was like, sir, I haven't eaten yet. All of my stuff is still at the office because I thought I would have been back there at like lunchtime. And so if it's cool with you, like, I would like to leave. And he was like, okay. So I saw him the next day, and he was laughing about that. And he's like, I could tell that you were like telling me, but like asking for permission. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like, I was telling you I needed to leave, but I just wanted to make sure that if somebody said something, I could be like, my boss said it was fine. So it was just such a mess. It was fine. I don't know. It was fine. I did ask the teacher in charge. I was like, hey, if you do this again next year, can you just just loop us in. Even if you don't want to email my boss, just shoot me an email and be like, hey Laura, we're doing career day. It'll be this day. And then I'll at least know that you're planning it. So hopefully she keeps that in mind for next year, because I don't mind doing it. It's just sometimes, at least in my district, it's like everybody just expects IT to have the Band-Aid and bail everybody out. And sometimes we can't do that. So it was just a really long day. So I left the school. I got back to my office and I hadn't eaten anything. I was just miserable. So I left at 2:30, which was my time to leave. And I stopped at the Dunkin' Donuts in front of my job and I got a Sabrina Carpenter refresher, which was actually pretty good. And I got myself a bacon, egg, and cheese because I was starving, I was thirsty, all that fun stuff. So treated myself after that annoying day. And then it was election day. So when Steven got home from work, he swung by and picked me up and we went and voted. So, and then he drank all of my Starbucks drink while we were on the way to our voting location. So he liked it. And then I do a monthly tree at work, like a Christmas tree that I decorate for every month of the year. And I had fully intended to decorate the November tree, but when I took the lights out, because halfway through October, part of the light string blew, and I was like, I'm not taking the October decorations off. I'll just wait until November and I'll replace the lights. So I put the lights on, thinking that they were twinkly lights. They were actually flashing lights, which I feel like in a place where you don't know everybody, like you never know if flashing lights are going to set someone off. Now, I had seizures when I was a baby, so I'm very conscious of that. And I also have motion sickness, and the flashing lights were so bad, they were giving me motion sickness, that I had to undecorate the tree and take the lights off. So I finally, on Friday, was able to redecorate the tree. I got just a plain set of lights. It was such a mess. So it was just like one thing after another this past week. And then I did start decorating for Christmas, as I think I talked about in last week's vlog. So this weekend I did the 600, where are the 700s? I messed up somewhere along the way. Wait a minute. Oh, here they are. 778 and 779. So yesterday, which was Saturday for me, I started with decorating our bathroom, which, yes, I do decorate our bathroom for Christmas. We have a Christmas shower curtain. We have like artwork that goes on the wall, all that fun stuff. I'm over the top with Christmas, okay? And I promise Christmas house tour will be coming this year. Once we get a little bit closer to Christmas. I know not everybody wants Christmas this early in November, so there will be a house tour. It'll just be a little bit later in the season. So obviously before I decorated the bathroom, I wanted to clean the bathroom. So I scrubbed the tub, I did the floor, I did all that stuff. And then I decorated the bathroom and I moved on to the spare bedroom. Well, by the end of the day, I had fully decorated the bathroom, the spare room, and I had started the bedroom. So Steven and I had dinner, and then I was like, I'm gonna take a shower. Like, I had been busy all day and I just wanted to take a shower. So, oh, it's so embarrassing. So I went into the bathroom, I turned on the water to warm everything up, and at that point I realized that I hadn't put the shower head back how it was supposed to be. So we have a double shower head, and you can either have the main head on, both shower heads on, or the like detachable one. And I had put all of the water pressure to the detachable one because I was cleaning the shower. So I had neglected to switch it back to the right setting, which I like to have both of the shower heads on when I'm taking a shower because it's nice and it feels good. So I forgot to do that. So I got up on the side of the shower, like I always do, like the side of the tub, and I went to grab on to the wall, and I missed the wall, and I fell off the side of the tub. So I did not hit my head, but I did so much damage to my tailbone and my lower back. It hurts so bad. It feels better when I'm actually like up and standing, but I did not sleep at all last night because it was just so painful. And Steven says that my lower back, where the tailbone is, he said it's very, very swollen. So that's cool. So, not a great week, y'all. I'm being so for real. It has not been a good week. I bit the dust, and I don't know how I didn't hit my head. Like, the first thing, Steven came running into the bathroom, and he's like, did you hit your head? Did you hit your head? Which I didn't. It's a miracle because we don't have a really big bathroom. Like, our vanity and our shower are fairly close together. And I'm not like a teeny tiny person. I've got some meat on my bones. So I take up a little bit of space, and falling in that small of a space, oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. Yikes. So that kind of took me out for the rest of the evening, and I did do a little bit of decorating today. I didn't get as much done as I had hoped to. Unfortunately, I do think I overdid it a little bit with like going up and down the stairs, and thankfully Steven was home, so he lifted like the heavy stuff for me. But I started in the dining room. I did not get it finished, so I'm hoping that I can take care of some of that tomorrow. I did take tomorrow off work. I had been planning to take it, and then once I fell, I was like, I'm definitely taking that day off because I am moving like a freaking turtle. It hurts so bad. And I'm not even trying to be like dramatic, but it hurts really bad. So I am glad that I have tomorrow off, and then it's Veterans Day here in the US on Tuesday, so I'm also off on Tuesday. So I have a little bit of time to recover before I need to get back to work, which will be very nice. I have a pretty, like, I don't want to say I have an easy job because I definitely don't feel like I have an easy job, but I feel fortunate that I have a job that, like, if something like that happens, I can kind of fly a little bit under the radar. So I don't have to worry too much on Wednesday. I'll probably tell my boss, like, hey, I fell. But I don't really have to worry too much. The thing that is going to be troublesome is sitting all day because I don't have a standing desk. And I've actually been thinking about asking my boss if I can buy, like, if they'll buy me a desk that I can put up and down. I know that he has one. So I feel like if I asked, I might get lucky, but 8:39. What did I do here? I think I just put 898 in 839. Is that what I did? I need to go grab a drink, guys. I'll be right. Okay, sorry about that. And I did, in fact, mix up these two bottles. So the ones in 839 are actually 898. A little bit of static in there. I'm gonna have to go back through and put some, excuse me, put some dryer sheets in here, I think. That was one of my concerns about these containers, was how much static they were going to produce. So I will report back on that when I do my full when I do my full review on these containers. Okay, so this is 898. and these are $8.39. I'm glad I caught that before I got too far into it. Anyway, it was a rough week. Let's just leave it at that. So something good that happened was the diamondartclub Christmas release. Guys, it was such a good release, right? Like, let me know, what were you guys' thoughts on the release? I had a really hard time narrowing down I had a really hard time narrowing down my diamond paintings. I ended up getting 3, and they are 3 that I really love. I will do an unboxing on those as soon as they get in. But I definitely could have bought more. There are a couple that I'm really regretting not picking up, but 3 just was my max for this release. I couldn't go more than 3. And I did end up picking my 3 favorites. So, I don't know. It was funny though, because I had been decorating and it was like our nicest day weather-wise out of the week. So Steven was outside doing some yard work and he had asked if I could help him. And I was like, yes, but I have to be back inside by 11:50 so I can get ready for the sale. Oh my gosh. It's like, it's so crazy to me that these holiday sales, so like the Halloween sale and the Christmas release, they are like mini Black Fridays to me at this point, and I get so hyped up that by the end of it, I'm like so hyped up on adrenaline that my hands are literally shaking. Does anybody else feel like that, or is that just me being dramatic? Like, it's a mini Black Friday when they do these 30, 40, 50 kit releases, and I was sitting there thinking, we have Black Friday in like 3 weeks. Like, what are we gonna get? What is gonna happen on Black Friday? So I am very excited to see what diamondart.club comes out with for Black Friday. I also have my eye on some kits from a couple of other shops for Black Friday, so we'll see what happens. But I'm so curious to see what we get for Black Friday from diamondart.club, especially because the Halloween and the Christmas drops have been so good this year. I need to know. Like, I need to know what they have up their sleeves. I can't wait until we start seeing those previews. 9:38. So yeah, let me know what you guys picked up. My unboxing will be up as soon as I can. When I placed my order, none of them said pre-order. Like, a couple of the ones I got from the Halloween drop ended up being pre-orders. But none of mine for the Christmas ones seem to be, so hopefully I will get it relatively soon. I know with the large drops like that obviously diamondart.club's busy, but hopefully it comes soon. I was so pumped that they dropped the coupon code early, because if you guys remember when they did the Halloween release, I was so panicked about getting that Rita Konya kit, the Cozy Autumn one. I didn't even look for a coupon code. So I was very happy that I had it ahead of time and that I was able to get the 20% off, because one of the kits I got was very expensive, and if it hadn't have been for a coupon code to make the price a bit more reasonable, I probably wouldn't have bought that one. So let me know if you can guess which kit I'm talking about. I have kind of like had to reevaluate my kit schedule for the end of the year, because I feel like I definitely want to try to work on at least one of them. I got a more wintry kit for the third one, which I do plan to work on in January of 2026, but the other two are very Christmas, and I just don't know if I can wait until next year. But also I was really excited about the kits that I had chosen already, so I'm kind of in like the, what do I do? Do I stick with my original plan, or do I mix things up a little bit? I don't know. I need to figure that out. 3021. I guess we shall see. But I'd love to know if you guys want to share what you picked up. I would love to know. I'm so nosy about the big releases because I don't know why. Like, I always like to know what people picked up, but when we do the big drops like this one, I love to stalk the website and see what sells out first. I'm always so curious what sells out and what doesn't. And one of the kits that I got, I was actually really surprised that this morning it was still listed as in stock. So I guess maybe it wasn't as popular as I thought it was going to be. I don't know. We shall see. A part of me was actually kind of tempted to skip this diamond painting and start Christmas ones right away, but no, I didn't want to do that. I was really excited for this diamond painting, and I still am, so I definitely still wanted to work on it this year, but I was very tempted to hop right to Christmas. But that's okay. So today, I don't think I told you guys what I did today. So after the fall last night, I was like, oh my gosh, I still need to push through. I still need to decorate. So I did a little bit of decorating today. I set up the dining room trees, which we have a sliding door to our back deck, and on either side of the sliding glass door, I put Christmas trees. So I did get them set up, and I did decorate them, but I don't know how I feel about them. They just don't seem right. Something is off. I don't know if I need to move a couple of things around. I don't know if I'm missing a couple of decorations. They just don't seem as perfect as I usually like them to be. So tomorrow, hopefully, if I'm feeling up to it, I'm not going to take everything down. I might just kind of move some things around until I feel like they're in the right spot, and then go from there. So fingers crossed it's an easy fix, because I do not like redecorating trees. I put 5 Christmas trees up in my house. If I took everything down and redecorated all of them, what a nightmare that would be. So hopefully I can figure that out. And we did not get to decorating the bedroom tree. That was on the docket for today, but I was just kind of, I don't know. I do feel like I overdid it a little bit. And I don't think that Steven was super into it today. So hopefully in the next couple of days, we can get that taken care of. He is off on Tuesday as well for Veterans Day. So maybe we'll just push it until Veterans Day and we can do that together. All of the other trees I don't mind doing myself, but the bedroom tree is where we hang up all of our like personal ornaments. So Steven's ornaments from his childhood. We have an ornament for every year that we've been together. I have some ornaments from family. We like to do that so Luna, our cat, doesn't break them because she does love a Christmas tree, and we close our bedroom door when we're not home. So when we're at work, she can't like destroy the personal ornaments. So that tree I do like for us to put together. So hopefully in the next couple of days we can wrap that up. I'm hoping between tomorrow and Tuesday I can get the kitchen and dining room done, and then we'll be fully decorated for Christmas, which just is my favorite. I was watching Maxton Hall on Saturday night. Now, I have not seen the first 3 episodes of season 2 yet. I wanted to do a rewatch of season 1, and I didn't start it early enough. I had wanted to be finished with season 1 by the time season 2 came out, which was Friday. It didn't happen. I am now finished with season 1, so I think tonight I'm going to watch the 3 episodes of season 2. But I was laying in bed watching season 1 of Maxton Hall, and just the ambiance is so nice. I love Christmas. I love it so much. It's just my absolute favorite. the coziness is what does it for me, I think. All right, 37.40. We're moving through this pretty quickly. I actually don't know if that's the case or not because I've had to start and stop a couple of times. I feel like we're moving through it pretty quickly and not too much static. We've had a little bit. I am going to go through, I'm going to go back through these containers and just put a little piece of dryer sheet in them just to help a little bit with the static, but it's really not too bad. I will be interested to see how dekitting goes with these containers, if they generate a lot of static on their own. Maybe I'll do a little bit of an experiment with these. Maybe I'll leave some without dryer sheets just to see if more static generates. That could be fun. Oops. Oh gosh. Should have been using the funnel, Laura. That's what you get. That is what you get. So let's see. I know I'm kind of skipping all around with the days, so I apologize for that, but my brain is a little, I think I might be getting sick, actually. My nose is runny. On Saturday, my dad stopped by. He was supposed to go see my grandmother who lives in Vermont, but he was halfway there and got a phone call that my grandmother was sick and she didn't obviously want him to come. So he had already bought fresh bagels, so he stopped at my sister's house and then he stopped here to give us some of the bagels. And him and I got talking about Thanksgiving. So we are doing a big, giant family Thanksgiving, which honestly is a nightmare. Listen, I love my family, but I am not that many people. It's a lot for me. So I did agree to it because my grandmother is the only grandparent I have left. She's, you know, we're all getting older and she's fine. Genuinely, she is fine. But you never know, right? Like after my grandfather passed away, it's kind of like, dang, she's the only one we got left. You know what I mean? So when my dad brought it up, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. I will do Thanksgiving with her and the extended family. So my dad has kind of like taken the helm, if you will, of the planning for Thanksgiving. So he was here on Saturday and he's like, hey, do you want to make a turkey? And I was like, what? Do I want to what? I've never made a turkey. I don't even eat turkey. So he gave me money to go buy a turkey and he's like, it's easy. So if any of you have tips for a first-time turkey maker who doesn't eat turkey, please, please leave any tips and tricks in the comments down below. I did a little bit of research last night online, just kind of looking for help. But if any of you have tried and true tips of making a turkey, please help me. I don't want to be the one who brings a gross turkey. So my dad is making a turkey, I'm making a turkey, and I think he's asking my sister to make a turkey. And I'm also making a bunch of mashed potatoes. So I'm making like 3 pans of mashed potatoes. So it's going to be a lot and we have to drive like an hour away. So my grandmother lives in Vermont. We live in New York, capital region area. And my great aunt, her partner is a reverend and has a church. So she can use the church. So we're using that for family Thanksgiving. So that way my grandmother doesn't have to make the full drive from Vermont to us, and her place isn't big enough for all of us. So that's what we're doing. So I have to make a 20-pound turkey and 3 pans of mashed potatoes. So like 15 pounds of mashed potatoes. And I have to drive them an hour away on Thanksgiving. Oy. Oh my gosh. So any help with the turkey is greatly appreciated. And if you want to catch my demise with the turkey, again, I do have memberships where I vlog everything. So you will be able to see the embarrassing fails of me trying to make a turkey. Okay, 3802. Now to end this video, I do kind of want to, I apologize. I am going to bring it down a notch. I'm going to bring the mood down a bit. But I did want to, how do I put it? I did want to let you guys know about something that's going on with one of the members of the community. Now, if you guys have been around for a while, you probably know that Bree from Bree's Creative Journey, formerly Painting with Pitties. Bree is one of my best friends in the community, and honestly in real life. We've never met in real life, but we talk almost every day, and we've just become really good friends outside of diamond painting. So this past week, Bree's wife Megan, I do have Bree and Megan's permission to talk about this. I just wanted to get the word out to the community, and I was given permission to do so. So Bree's wife, Megan, was recently diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. If you've been following Bree the last year, they sold their house. They have been traveling the country. And this was definitely a surprise. I mean, it's a surprise no matter what stage of life you're in, but it just definitely was not expected. And Bree does have a GoFundMe going, so I will leave a link to the GoFundMe in the description box. Any help is appreciated. I totally understand, and I know that Bree understands as well, that it is the holiday season, the state of the world right now. Not everybody can monetarily help, but sharing the GoFundMe, speaking about it, sharing it with other people outside of the community will definitely help. So it's such a, I can't even imagine what Bree and Megan are going through. So I'm hoping that the diamond painting community as a whole can just kind of rally around a fellow member of the community and give them a hand if you're able. Please do not feel obligated to do so. But just know that if you do choose to make a donation, share the GoFundMe, post about it somewhere else, that anything is greatly appreciated from everybody involved. And even if the best you can do is prayers and good vibes and, you know, good energy their way, that is also very much appreciated. So I did just want to mention that to you guys. It's hard. It can be very hard to make connections in the community. I kind of live in my own little diamond painting bubble, and I'm very grateful to have all of you here. So when I got the phone call from Bree that, you know, this is what it was just, it sucks to see somebody hurting. Do you know what I mean? Especially, I don't know why, but especially this time of year. So anything, I will link the GoFundMe, and Bree, you know, details more of what the money will be used towards. I know a lot of people can be finicky about GoFundMes, myself included, but it is a donation protected GoFundMe, so you are protected with your donation. So I will leave all of that information down below. I know Bree has posted 1 or 2 updates. They went to some chemotherapy counseling and all that stuff. So there's some updates there and what they will be using any of the donations for. So just wanted to mention that and send good vibes their way. We are almost done with kitting this one up. The color palette is very samey. Like, a lot of these colors are so similar right now. I feel like I've poured the same color in 3 or 4 times. I don't know what's happening. And I'm also not using the funnel, which is silly. Oh, by the way, while I was chatting about that, I did end up adding 2 bags into this container. So this is 2 bags of 38.57. And I don't know if you guys can tell, there's still a little bit of room. We are like right up to this line right here. So quite a bit of drills in that container. I am very much liking these. Like I mentioned, I will be doing a full review on them after I have completed this diamond painting. I think these are going to be really nice. I do wish that they fit a little bit better outside of the foam inserts. I'll have to mess around with that a little bit more. But I think they're going to be really nice. Let me know in the comments if you guys were able to snag these before they sold out, because I know quite a few of you were, because I was able to see some of the orders that used my, I can't see your actual order, but I can see that people have ordered using my link. So I know some of you got them before they sold out, and I'd love to know if any of you have used them yet, because I was tempted to use them for my first kit for November, which was just a little Amazon Diamond Art Club one. I did not, because I wanted to give them like an actual chance with a larger diamond painting. So I'm excited that I can finally use them. Why does that not look like the same color? 38, oh gosh, did I do it again? Did I mess up again? 38.36. 30, wait, what did I do? I did. Can you guys tell that I'm a mess? Okay, so this is actually 38.36. No, this is 38.63. Oh my gosh. I think I need to go to bed early tonight. What's happening? Okay. So this, oh boy, that could have been a mess. I'm glad I noticed the color on the sticker before I got too far. It's been a long time since I've messed up a kitting up this bad. Okay, so this is 38.36. So this goes here, and then 38.63 goes there. Yikes. It's a good thing we're almost done. 38.66. Oh my goodness. I'm using the funnel for this one. Okay, I think I got that one right at least. What's next? 5,200. So we have 2 bags of 5,200. Let's see if we can fit both bags in here. Funnel. These aren't like the super full ones, but it's definitely a larger bag. Okay, there's one, which took us to about halfway. Oh yeah. Look at that. Perfect. I think that these might surprise you on how many drills they actually hold, because I did see a couple comments in the Amazon haul video of some people saying that they weren't going to be big enough, which is fair, but I think that they hold a bit more than you're expecting them to. I wish we had like a huge bag of 310 so I could actually test that out. Maybe I'll need to do that in the review. But we had a couple colors that had two bags. Is that actually 60-31? Yes, it is. I'm going to second guess myself all the way through the rest of these colors. 60-32. That says 60-32. Oh gosh. I'm so glad I have tomorrow off. So glad I have tomorrow and Tuesday off. Yikes. It's very much needed, I fear. All right. We're in the home stretch here. 60-33. Dang it. You know, we were due for a bit of a hot mess, Kit and Chat, I fear. I think the last couple have been a bit too problem-free. I fear we were due a little bit of a mess. All right, this is our last regular drill, 60-34. I never learn. And then we have our 3 fairy dust drills. So no ABs in this one, which is interesting. If you were curious about the special drills, I do have an unboxing for this diamond painting where I go over where these fairy dust drills go. So we have this green color, Z642. Which is very unique. I don't know how I feel about like the blue glitter over top, but we'll see how it looks. And then we have Z3865. Ah! Oh my gosh. Funnel. And then our final drill is Z6030. Hallelujah. We're done. Oh my goodness. If you guys are still here, if you made it through that entire mess of a wipnchat, thank you for being here. Genuinely, because yikes. All right, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed kitting up Happy Place with me. I'm very excited to get to this one. I think it's going to be a pretty good bit of color blocking, so I'm hoping it won't take me too long, but I feel like I say that every time, and lately they've been taking me much longer than I expect. So here are the containers. Ow, I've been sitting too long, I fear. Here are the containers, nice and full and lined up and ready to go. So I will be using these obviously for this diamond painting. I might try to film some clips of them in action for when I do the full review on them after I finish this kit. So hopefully I can get a little bit of footage for you guys. If I'm still working on this one, next week I will do a whip and chat and I will talk to you about the containers as well. So as of filming, these are not in stock at the moment, but I am keeping track of the link. I am monitoring it, and as soon as they are back in stock, I will let you guys know. So just to refresh you, this is the diamond painting we have kitted up. This is the next one I'm going to be working on, and that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!